When last we left our heroes, you all found encased in an altar of ice a staff, um, or at least a part of a staff, with depictions of great deeds upon it. You quickly found out that this staff had either a will of its own or something was drawing it to it. You decided that this is might as well good as anything else to figure out what the fuck's going on, considering that the sister of one of your party members was going to be sacrificed on this altar. You all went in search of wherever this staff would take you, traveling through the silent woods to a long forgotten and pretty much ready to be ruined cabin. There you saw recent evidence that someone had been there, performing first aid upon themselves in some fashion, as well as a series of tracks leading away from the cabin. The staff, after searching about the cabin, decided to follow these tracks to a icy cavern that would have been lost to the eyes if not for this staff aiding you. Entering into it, you realize that this was once the den or the hoard of a great dragon that once existed in these lands, which has now long been forgotten. Traveling through the remains of what was left, you entered a secondary cavern where there was a great ice worm dead on the ground. Next to it was a small tent, a Goliath's tent, as well as a series of a little campfire. You all began searching around, and about that point, a number of other ice worms made themselves aware to you all, attacking you, and a couple rolls in one direction or the other, and things might have been not so good for you all. However, the daredevil-esque ineptitudes of your female assassin brought about a swing vote in your direction, and you all succeeded, and taking advantage of the filth that these worms had inside their guts that was also mixed with treasure that they were unable to digest from previous adventurers that may have fallen into their maud clutches. As you were doing this, the one that you all tried to keep so safe, Pamina, our sister, exited the blown out wound in the great frost worm's belly, holding the second part of said staff. And piecing them next to each other, you watched them fuse and depict an entire tale. It was at that point that Fex, the local Goliath of your group, as Valken, realized exactly what this was, and that it was an ancient artifact from long past, a artifact known as the Lasting Peace, a spear that was given by Ixdur to his chosen more than 1,000 years ago, and the one that slew the great worm that now lies defeated and dead underneath the ice of his beloved city.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, you had divvied the loot. We had given out the experience, I do believe.
Yeah.
Yep. I have it crossed off, so I would assume so. And what is y'all's plan?
Wait, we got the XP from the worm fight? Don't we not
Yep.
usually get it until a long rest?
Yeah, but I knew that you'd get one, so I just wanted to get it out of the way.
Okay, good. Our plan is to harvest the worm and then keep looking around, right?
Yes, you all did realize that the staff did not seem to be done with its guiding.
Oh.
Oh.
That there was more to it. This is partially because you realize that while it is whole, it is missing the spearhead to it.
Oh.
Oh, I thought the last part already had the spearhead. Oh,
No,
okay.
it's missing its spearhead.
It's still just a staff then. I see.
So basically, it's just a staff.
Yeah. So and the girl just gave it to me, no problem, right?
Yeah. That was what we kind of left it. She's like, "Hey, I found it."
Yeah.
Kind of.
We have a stick.
Yep.
Cool. A very powerful stick. And they fuse together by themselves.
Yep. Without issue. As soon as they come in contact with each other, they just seem to knit. Even though they were splintered, like someone had broken it in half, it had no problem, and it just went right back together and became whole again.
Because that tells me kind of that someone wanted the parts apart, right? Because if someone found the parts, they could just put it
That's
together.
what it seems like.
I think before we just look around randomly, we should see if we can find like evidence of whoever was here, because someone was here. And I know we burned his tent down, but maybe there's some way to just figure out some more information about him.
Use prestidigitation to put out the fire.
Yeah, so a large portion of the tent and what was in it is now charred and burnt away from the fight. If you remember, there was a bedroll, an explorer's pack in there, some more bloody bandages. If you recall, whoever was here actually performed like low-end surgery on themselves at some point. Actually, like, using like gut and hook to like stitch themselves back together in some capacity. You guys know that it was fairly recent, within like 2 days, that this all happened.
Tracking. I want to see if I can figure out where they went or what happened.
Absolutely.
Can't we follow the spear?
You're not sure if the person owns the spearhead.
Oh, so might be leading to the same place. Okay.
I mean, maybe they're leading the same place, but that's not a certain thing, and I think that's what Zach's kind of take a look at. It says, does the spear pull you in the same direction that potential tracks might lead?
Or does the spear pull us into the belly of the first worm?
Yep.
Or the tracks.
So, with that being said, I need
Survival?
a survival check.
No dice.
Wow.
Starting off strong.
Unfortunately, there's so much worm ichor all over the place, and particularly on yourselves. If you remember, that ichor did like acid damage, so like it like sizzled and seared like most things, as well as some lightning breaths. Like the entire area is now war torn. It's practically impossible to track now. Until Thorgo rolls a 20. Thorgil, you...
I thought it was for everyone, sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Thorgil, you kind of skip the war-torn area, and you see that there is another tunnel, and just inside the lip of it, you see a smattering of blood on it. Like someone had maybe like rubbed up against the frozen wall, and their blood had smeared against it. And it looks like it's leading away from this area.
I want to do a check about if I know that the worms will still be good to eat a few days from now.
Yes, absolutely. You would know that. You don't need to even check that.
Okay.
You know, just because there's no like easy way to transport like an ice worm easily back to like a hole or anything like that. So yeah, they'll be good eats still for a good while. Like I said, you guys are in an ice cavern, so you're basically in a giant freezer.
Hey, it makes sense. Preserved meat. I'm cool with this.
Good. Okay.
Really, the only issue that people have, like hunters have in this frozen wasteland, is the fact that other predators will search out and then basically get a hold of like the corpse or the kill. But at least in this ice cavern, the only thing that's really probably going to come in here are more ice worms.
Yeah. Okay.
So that would be the only worry that you would have.
I guess it's time to check the staff. Does someone want to do anything else?
All right.
Should we maybe take a short rest?
That might be a good idea. Yeah.
I know a couple of
Yeah, I'm just exhausted from that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. Mr. Light on his feet over there.
I'd love to follow this tunnel right now and find another worm that I can throw someone into, but I think I need to catch my breath first.
On a short rest, arcane recovery means I get half my wizard level back in spell slots.
Yes.
Alright,
Yeah,
so
we'll also
I'm
miss
down
that back.
to make camp and chill for a little while.
alright, so 1 hour. What are we doing? So just
Short rest is 1 hour.
yeah, so 1 hour.
Yeah.
When is it? 1 hit die per rest?
You can spend as many hit dice as you want,
Okay.
but you don't get, basically to get them back is from long rests.
Gotcha. Alright. Cool. Ooh.
Oh.
Woo! Oh.
Oh, that was kind of.
Yeah, one more. I'll do 4 total.
That actually
Woohoo, I'm over
overwhelmed me.
half HP.
Man, a lot of nat ones on those d10s.
Hey, I got
Okay,
a
we can just
I got a 10. I can live with the nat 1.
we can just spend our bad luck here and then when it's actually important.
I mean, I would be okay with that.
Okay, so, everyone good on their HPs and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ballard, during this point, due to the fact that Pamina was not involved in the fight whatsoever, and you are not too bad off yourself, she gives you kind of like a motion, like, hey, like, let's go for a walk. We're both healthy. Let the other ones rest, and I assume that you walk off with her.
Yes.
You walk down, kind of like being sneaky but tactful about following the blood trail that Thorgil found, without getting lost or endangering yourselves. When she's good and sure that she's outside of earshot from everyone, you see her turn around and she goes, "Why are you doing all this?"
Well, to make a long story short, I am being commanded by a mystical entity who has power over my life and death.
You mean Dad's God?
Basically, yes. Who, as it turns out, is the son of the god of death. He's some kind of demigod. And then at one point, the god of death showed up to us and warned us and told us not to work with him. But I'm kind of already roped into this.
So, what is he wanting you to do?
Find pieces of the dead death god and chuck them into a great big pit.
As you're walking at this point, you say that she trips and stumbles a little bit when you say that, and she wheels around again, and she's like, "That's insane."
Oh yeah, totally. It's some kind of father-son dispute that we've gotten involved in. It's just on a god level.
You see her kind of frown a little bit, and she goes, "So good to see that father even in death haunts us."
Yep, he started it all.
You progress a little bit further, and then you see her stop, and she looks over her shoulder, and she goes, "So if you could get out of the contract, would you?"
I mean, is that a trick question?
I don't know. Does it have to be a trick?
I mean, no, but I don't know. It seems like it would be hard to break even a demigod's grasp on a person.
Well, why don't you just trade? Can't you just find someone that's bigger and badder than a demigod?
I guess it could.
I mean, what has he really done besides bring you back from death?
And commanded me. Gave me magical powers.
But you have that
And
gnome. Can he just teach you how to have
terrorized
magical powers?
my every waking and sleeping hour. So yeah, not great.
So you're gonna go through with finding these pieces of Tildal?
For as long as he's got a hold on me.
What happens if he didn't have a hold on you? What would you do with those pieces of Tildal?
No, I'd probably just
Eat them.
walk away.
She nods. So how you been?
Well, I've been better, to be sure. Oh yeah, speaking of dear old dad, would you like to get some cathartic release?
She thinks about it. What you got in mind?
Well, I happen to have his zombified corpse right here in this.
Really?
back
You
building.
explain it, not just pull it out?
Yeah. And as it so happens, it's gone feral. I have no control over it. I could reassert control, or just go ahead and dispose of it. So, I'll leave it up to you.
She thinks about it for a second. She goes, "Well, while I don't mind taking my anger out on dead things, I'm not sure that in the current location at the current time, this is probably the best place to do it.
Yeah, probably not.
So, rain check?"
Worms. Sure.
She then giggles and she's like, "You totally should have fed him to a worm."
That was, yeah, I should have just dropped him or something and had him stumble into a worm. That'd have been great.
Seems like your boyfriend really likes throwing allies into the mouth. Can you imagine what he would do with a zombie?
Oh, probably. If he wasn't my zombie, kill it immediately is what you do.
Well, cool. So, just because I don't like leaving things hanging, why the hell do you want to get rid of me so bad?
Just kind of a strange mix of emotions and ideas. Trying to be a big brother. Trying not to kill you.
Do you really know what it's like to be a big brother, or are you only just going through
really.
the motions?
Kind of went through the motions. Well, my first instinct was to kill you, so I turned off on that, obviously.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I'm starting to get the feeling that maybe I've been tainted by my contract.
Hmm.
Certainly gotten a lot darker.
Could be because you don't have a heartbeat.
Could be.
Well, I guess we should get back to the other group. I'm sure they're dying to wonder where we've been.
Nah, they're probably fine.
Yeah, they
They
don't
get
probably
trouble
they
all
don't
the
like
time.
you very much.
Not at all. And I find it hilarious.
You all progress. You two progress backwards, and return back to the group. At which point you both get a assorted series of looks between the party members.
Oh my.
And so, what's the plan?
Well,
Harvest the worm and follow the rod or the spear.
Follow
do
the
we
stick.
need to harvest the worm?
I mean, we can come back for the worm.
I don't really am interested.
I don't mean for food. I mean like yeah, spell components like or like stuff that's expensive.
Like,
Do they have like a
Like
gem
what?
in their skull or you know what I mean? Like whatever the hardest thing to get is.
or whatever they were using to spit lightning.
Yeah.
That sounds like a check.
Yeah. There's but
I didn't know that.
John's got a whole like setup with levels of like the hard stuff and like with the basilisk. We did the hardest thing and I grabbed the venom and it's worth like 50 gold and I need to sell it or use it to
Okay.
make nasty venom for Nate's daggers.
Yerp. Okay.
So do I roll like a check to know if there's anything worth taking from these and then we
So,
take it?
The way it works is that each monster has a simple, hard, or expert level thing that you can try to harvest.
I'm going for expert.
Obviously, only one person can go for each. Basically, there are only three, so only 3 people can harvest a worm. You have 2 worms, so each of them has a simple, a hard, and an expert level harvest.
So how do I figure out what we get from each of the 3 things?
So basically, you tell me what you are trying to harvest. Like, is it the simple thing, the hard thing, or the expert level harvest? And then I make you roll
Can the
a
same
check.
person harvest the multiple times, or like how long does it take?
Once per creature. So, like, your best person can't do the simple and the hard and the expert, but could do expert and expert. One for each of the worms.
Okay.
Okay, and they can move on. Okay,
I want to know if I
so
can figure out.
whoever we have do the hardest, I want to give enhanceability to. So once we decide that,
That's smart, yeah. How do I determine what we get from each of the 3 levels? Do I roll like a check to see if I know, or do we just try it and screw it, see what we get?
Basically, you tell me, I tell you to roll, and then I tell you if you succeeded or not, and then what it is and how much it's worth.
Okay, so I need to tell you like I want its eye or I want its skin.
Well, you can say I want the hard thing, and then you roll, and then if you succeed, I tell you what the hard thing is and what you get.
Okay. And what skill is used to harvest? Is it nature, I'm guessing, or survival?
So it depends on the creature. However, almost all creatures fall under nature unless they are of like particularly odd sorts, at which point it can be things like arcana.
You sure it's not like stealth?
Like a mind flare would not be nature, that would be arcana. To
I have
like,
a
harvest the beak from a mind flare.
+4 to nature. Who has better than that?
Well, I'm glad you asked,
I
because
have -1, so not me.
I have a 2.
Ah. Am I the best at nature? That doesn't make sense. Do we both have 4? Or
Most
Yeah, I
likely.
think so.
well, I don't like responsibility, so you can go after the expert and I'll go after the hard.
Okay.
Okay, so I give enhanceability, intelligence to Valor.
Cool.
Is it wisdom? Nature? No, intelligence. Never mind.
It's intelligence.
Yeah.
Wait, why do you have so much nature?
Because I have a 18
No,
intelligence.
no, no. I understand you. I meant him.
Oh yeah.
Valor?
You have it as a skill or something?
I lived in it for many years.
I think we were asking mechanically, but I like.
He was
your
like a
description
hermit
of character.
for a large portion of his life, so that's why
How
he has
do-
ID.
Oh,
So if I
proficiency.
get-
Okay.
What does enhanced ability do?
It allows you to have advantage.
advantage on.
Okay.
Oh damn, that's really good. Is it like for a minute or just for one check?
It's like an hour.
It's for 1 hour,
Wow. All right.
and it saved our butts when we were in the forest trying to convince the head druid guy.
Okay, Valar, go ahead and give me a second one for the second worm, just so I can get that out of the way.
Is that a first level spell there, Jason?
Second level.
Second level spell. Okay.
That's pretty worth it.
Valar did well. Okay, and Beavis.
All right. I don't get no fancy advantage, but let's see what happens.
I guess that means I should go for the easy item then, huh?
Sure.
I mean, unless you want me to do it.
I'm the next best at it.
Okay. So I'm gonna do bottom up because it's easier for me to mentally create objects off the top of my fucking head from most common to most rare. Riley, you go about and you start collecting the teeth from these worms. The sheer ability for an ice worm to be able to navigate through sharp dagger-like ice through the use of its mouth and its teeth is testament to the strength of those chompers. So you go about and you collect that. You succeeded on both of your rolls, and you collected total 78 gold pieces worth of teeth. We'll say that probably it's about a gold a piece. So you collected about 79 or 78 teeth.
Fuck adventure. Let's just go hunting.
We've considered this before.
That's really lucrative.
Beavis, you succeeded on one. You are able, from your ventures, to get one of the eyes from these. You almost didn't realize that they had them, just due to the sheer tininess of them. But you are able to pluck out one of the eyes on them. They had a number of eyes, but a number of them have been squished or popped from the combat, and then you didn't do well on one of your rolls, so you popped a couple with your fingers, like some rotten grapes.
Can we say that because of prestidigitation, I'm not afraid of getting dirty, so I went into the worm and got him from the inside out?
Yeah, and that probably caused a little bit of an issue finding them and accidentally destroying them. You got a little bit angry, so you shillelagh'd the inside of the worm and accidentally popped a couple of them. But let's say you collected maybe 3 eyes, and total that was worth 177 gold.
All right. So would we automatically know if these had any other use?
Yes, no. So at least as far as things go, like I said, is usually these are the kinds of weird, odd assortments of things that you guys would use to create cool magical pieces for yourselves. So if, for example, you wanted to have it so that your shield had spikes on it, maybe you could outfit the shield with a bunch of ice worm teeth on the front of it, so that anytime they hit you, that they would take an additional 1d4 damage from the shield or something like that.
Kind of like the whole Gorgon idea he had before, where you just put the Gorgon eyes so that people can't look at it.
Right, exactly. So basically, this is where, in your case, Stephen, being the primary magic maker, you could know what you want to make and kind of go through the giant list of magic gear and paraphernalia you guys have, all these pieces, be like, oh, that sounds like something that would be super dope to make that. Like a sentinel shield is often depicted as a shield with a bunch of eyes in it. So if you had a number of different eyes, some from an ice worm, some from a basilisk, some from a whatever, like that would totally be a reasonable ingredient to negate the cost of that item. Okay. So Balar, you go for the money.
Cost.
Huh?
So if I can give you a reason that something we have makes sense in a magic item, it can be cheaper to build?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you guys know this, but the main reason we haven't been building magic items is they can be crazy expensive.
We're crazy loaded, by the way.
Yeah. So basically, the way that I've worked it, Stephen, is that the cost of to do a magic item is, let's say, X. But if you have items that can be used for it, those items are worth their value times 2 towards that thing.
Or anything.
Right. So like in the case of like those eyes worth 177 gold, if you put them towards like a sentinel shield, then it would be worth double that towards the value of the shield.
So like 344.
Right.
Yeah.
354.
Okay. So
yeah, 354.
This week, obviously not right now, but this week, why don't we all go through our inventories, see what weird shit we have, and we can share it in the Skype. So if anybody has an idea for something, because I can build anything that's less than rare.
So uncommon, magic items.
Yeah. So if you have anything, put it in the Skype chat, and we'll all figure out because we should take advantage of that. I've got
like the other group. The other group, they primarily do it to make poisons and potions. So like they have a full list of all the potions and poisons that they can make in the game. And so then they're like, hey, can I do this? And they're really good. They actually talk about it like through texting with me to like mix and match weird stuff. So they're like, can I do a little bit of this potion or a little bit of this potion if I make like these 2 items, and like they kind of figure it out and negotiate with me. And so they have like weird amalgamations of like potions and like they have potions that do like spells. Like they got some bioluminescent shit, and they basically made basically a grenade of fairy fire that they can toss, where it busts on the ground and then it explodes in like a glitter bomb and dusts everything in the area with a fairy fire spell.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
Zach, we could totally make you a sniper rifle and make poison bullets.
Maybe.
Not now, but I like at a level 11 when I can make rare stuff. If we can find somebody to make him a sniper rifle, like that lady that made him the pepper box. If we find the next level up when we're better,
yeah,
we'll see.
Okay, Balar.
What about alcohol with magic?
Absolutely. You could be a connoisseur of rare and odd liqueurs and alcohols with weird shit. I mean, think about it. Like one of you has like what is it? Like something lizard ooze or
Lizard slime
or something?
Yeah.
I'll bet with my illusion magic and your brewing, we could make like some serious absinthe and have people hallucinate.
Oh yeah. And that's basically what the other group does. Like they have a brewer, a poisoner, and an alchemist in their group. And between the 3 of them, they make alcohols, poisons, and potions with all of their materials.
Don't mix those up.
Yeah. They make them all with the same equipment. No. All right, Balar, you succeeded in both of your rolls. You are able to actually pull out from these 2 worms the lightning sacks that they have. These are the sacks that they basically use to do their lightning breaths at you all. And each of those is worth 355 gold apiece.
Oh, that's cool.
So just given an idea, using one of these would be really good for making like potions of lightning breath, or if you wanted to make like a javelin of lightning, these would be like a good material to use towards that kind of thing. If you did like a Thor's hammer type thing, like a dwarven, like a dwarven hammer thrower type thing where it like can return to your hand, and you wanted to add do something like that. Like you could make the argument to me that, hey, it's basically Thor's hammer. Thor was the god of lightning. I should totally be able to use these sacks. Like, as long as you get creative and you tell me why and then what the object looks like, especially if you give it a name, because that'd be super dope. I'm pretty good about letting that stuff go, because ultimately it's my way of letting you guys cosmetically decorate yourselves in the game. Which is also something to keep in mind, is just like in the case of like Valken being like particularly odd looking with like his overwhelming need to turn himself into a race car.
Yeah.
Like, there's options for little things. Particularly like in Xandathar's guide, every magic item in that book is absolutely 100% useless in like major capacities, but they can do things like give you advantage on an intimidation check or give you a +2 or things like that. So even if it's like little things, it's still there as long as you get creative. You bring it to me and we basically figure out how much it would cost and then what materials you have.
I have some really, really crazy ideas that mostly won't work, but I keep thinking.
Yep, exactly. Tape of billowing.
That sounds like a Beavis thing.
But like that might be like a piece, like to make that you might have like, I don't know, like a piece from like an air elemental, and you like you instill it in the cape, so like the essence of the air elemental is in the cape and therefore it always billows. That would be an example of how to use something that you have found for something weird like that. But just like how that piece is absolutely useless, if you were doing a performance check to make yourself like be this like super awesome like I'm a hero and you should listen to me because I'm a hero, cape billows magically in a still. I might give you advantage on a performance check, So let your imaginations run wild, but that's the better way to do things.
All right.
Okay.
So if we're done with that, we should probably follow the staff now, huh?
I think so. Anything else you guys want to do in this cavern before you leave?
Nah, it's a frozen, just bit of rock. It's useless.
Okie doke. You all go out the way that Valar and Pamita had explored with no issue. Ultimately, climbing the worm's tunnel until you reach the surface. And you actually kind of run into a situation where like it takes a second, because as you get there, there's like you reach a dead end, and then you just realize that it's like a snow covering of like just heavy snows that have kind of covered up the hole. So you kind of have to like punch through it a little bit and move the snow aside to get out, but you do so without issue. You aren't really sure where you are. You're assuming you're probably somewhere close, within at least like a couple 100 yards from where you entered. But where that is pertaining to the Silent Woods, you don't know. However, the staff is directing you to what seems to be a northwest facing.
Huh. Funny how that works.
It's almost like it's a compass.
Pointing right to magnetic north.
So I assume you guys follow after the staff?
Oh, I like we've got a choice at this point. Riley
Okay.
says to the magic voice in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same direction that the blood was, right? I mean, because the beginning.
Well, you followed the tunnel, but now that you're out on the open snow, you don't see any.
Yeah, I'll follow the staff. I don't.
Okay. You do so. And you're looking at probably like a half day's journey through the Silent Wilds. Nothing seems to be particularly of danger. Occasionally, one of you does see a beast of some sort, like a yeti here or there, some larger entity. But those creatures, when they see just the sheer size of your party as a whole, they kind of scamper off into the woods away from you all. Until you get to a fairly large clearing. There's still a number of trees, but it becomes a significantly good bit sparser in this area. And you see a cabin in the middle of this fairly open area. A chimney is in it with a white smoke coming out of it, and you see a number of children playing out in the snow in front of it, with what looks like a Goliath woman with absolutely beautiful, long, glistening black hair, sitting in a chair, bundled up with something smoking in her hand, watching the kids play. You notice probably the biggest weird thing about it is all the kids are of different races.
Huh. Cool.
How many of them are lizard folk?
There are actually 2 lizard folk.
Whoa!
Okay.
What?
It's not like one of each, a variety.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's not like a zoo or something.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's not some weird alien zoo.
Vulcan at least considers leaving Pamina here for a while, like be less dangerous. But I don't think that'll work out. Well, seeing a Goliath randomly, Vulcan will definitely go and talk to her and please say hello.
As you all, I assume that you're all following after Valken.
Sure, why not?
I want to see how this plays out.
Okay. You all begin to trek across the snow towards this cabin, and it doesn't take but a few seconds before you see the woman spot you all, and you hear what sounds like a bird call, shrilly cry out into the air. And all the children come scampering immediately back to the house and come through the door. At which point she closes it, and then you see her rap on the door, and then she turns to face you all.
Right. So Vulcan looks really scared for a second, looks back, see all the murder horribles behind me. I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And some of you are still covered in worm goo and...
That's unfair. I look jovial as hell. I am tiny and non-threatening. I only slightly look like a homeless man.
I'm practically swimming through the snowdrifts.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like a corgi.
Yeah.
I'm cute as shit right now.
Boing, boing, boing.
Right. So I guess Vulcan's he puts away the staff somewhere on his back, I suppose, and puts his both hands up and goes "We mean no harm. I'm sorry I scared you."
She looks at you and she just nods.
As you can see, we have a little one.
I'm sorry he scared you too.
As you can see, we have a little one with us too. We really don't want trouble. I'm Vulcan. Have I met this person? Probably not.
I'm gonna say no. Only because of a number of reasons. One, this woman is far more beautiful than you you would remember her.
Yeah, I see.
She's probably bar none, at least in Valken's eyes, probably one of the 3 most beautiful women he's ever met in his entire life.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess to even look even more harmless, I'll even take off my helm, if that's a thing that's not too hard to put on later.
Oh yeah, no, you...
Yeah. And our party has been a little lost out in the woods over here. Can you tell us which way is? And I forgot the name of the city again because I'm really bad at names. Should have wrote it down somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking to go to Fehoth?
Yeah, no, I want to know. Well, Vulcan says that we want to go there, but mostly so we know exactly where we are, or at least the general direction where we are.
Okay, give me a second.
Yeah, Thorgil makes a valid point there. Shouldn't we be doing like some sort of illusion check or something? Perception check of sorts?
I am good at that. If you can, well, I don't know. I guess Beavis would naturally be suspicious of this, so he would roll it.
Okay, that would be an Arcana check.
I think I can do those.
See if there's any kind of odd magic about the
Weird
place.
stuff going on. Do I feel any spidey senses tingling?
No, not really.
Legitimate cabin in the woods.
I mean, I only rolled a 13, so it's possible.
Legitimate cabin in the woods.
Yeah, that's true. I believe that it's real.
I fully believe you, Beavis. It's a legitimate cabin in the woods.
All right.
Press
the red button.
One thing that let's just do one of these, just because I don't want to just assume that Valken knows everything. Valken, give me a nature check.
Sure. Great at it. That's why I totally helped with the worm thing.
I know you did.
Oh,
That's not
not
bad
so
at all. So here's what stands out odd to you. The Silent Wilds, as you know, is extremely dangerous.
Oh yeah.
The fact that there is a Goliath woman not wearing armor or with what seems like a weapon of any sort in her hands in a cabin in the woods with a bunch of children reeks of odd and particularly dangerous, because there is no reason that anyone should be wanting to live in the Silent Woods the way that she does. Like, you would need a village to pull off what she is doing with a single cabin. Hence,
Yeah.
like, the one single town in the entire Silent Woods called Still Branch. That's it. That's the only one that's been able to do it. Only because there's basically travelers constantly going in and out to protect it. So, that's what your 15 gets it. Cool.
So would it be possible for me to, like, kind of closely examine this woman and roll a history or something to see if I can, if she's
Place her?
supernaturally beautiful and is able to do something we think is impossible? So can I, like, try and figure out what's up?
You are certainly welcome to roll a history check to discern if you have ever known a story about this woman.
Yeah, supernaturally beautiful lady who wants to take care of kids and is capable of living in hospitable environments. Yeah.
It was a bit sketch.
You don't remember ever hearing about a woman that did this. However, for some reason, you remember a small lilting tune that you have heard as a child about a place for where children can go for safety. And for some reason that tickles your brain. You're like, it's kind of like when you hear like the beginning of like an old childhood tune, but you can't remember any of the words, but you remember like the juxt of it.
So I don't remember the lyrics, but can I remember like the melody?
Yeah.
Okay. As we walk up, can I like whistle the melody?
Sure. Give me a performance check to see if you can whistle the melody appropriately.
Please tell me that regardless of what happens, he does it in a minor key, so it sounds really creepy.
Yeah. All you can see above the snow is like my lips and my eyebrows.
Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Can I hum it?
Yeah. So you begin to whistle, but your lips are chapped from the cold weather, and you're having a little bit too much difficulty. But when you do that, you hear her laugh, and she picks up where you left off, which is pretty much right at the beginning. But she hears like the first like 3 or 4 notes and recognizes that you know this tune, and so she begins to whistle along with you. And the thing that's amazing about it is that when she whistles, it doesn't come out like normal like human whistling. It sounds like birds chirping and trilling from her voice to hit the notes that belong to this song, so that it almost sounds like you're in like an aviary where they're singing a song to you.
Damn.
She looks at you all and she begins to point at your weapons as you get closer, and she motions in a gesture that kind of looks like this, and then she points at the near the door.
What's near the door?
Nothing. Blank space.
I'll leave my staff there.
Yeah, I'll put down my sword and shield there, but not the staff.
Okay.
And
So
my axe. I put my axe
and
down.
my axe. All right, so you begin to all take off your weaponry.
Oh, and I hang my necklace of fireballs on the staff.
Okay. Yeah. There's a couple like coat racks and things outside, so you could definitely like hang it on one of those if you wanted.
Riley waits outside.
Hand
Riley's
on
not going in.
Riley feels sketched out about this.
Okay, so you begin to take off your items. Is anyone else staying outside with Riley?
I'm gonna elbow Pamina and be like, what do you think about all this?
She looks at you and she goes, "I have nothing to hide." And she smiles and just walks right up towards the door.
Well, okay.
I want to look up at Riley and be like, "Come on, man! I've read this chapter 1,000 times. It's gonna be good. You should join us." This is where we meet Radagast. Or oh no, not Radagast. What's his name in Lord of the Rings?
Bombadil?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, but I still find him creepy.
Well, yeah, he's terrifying shit, but they got out of there unharmed.
But yeah, I'll go into.
Riley will, until further notice, wait outside. Oh, somebody
Alright.
better watch out anyway.
So
Watch the
for
weapons.
just because I haven't been giving inspiration in a while, for an inspiration coin, who knows Bombadil's wife's name without looking it up?
No.
Oh,
Mrs.
not at
Claus.
No one?
I've never read the books.
Oh dear God!
I only know it from.
Me.
I only know of Tom Bombadil from the Fellowship of the Ring video game that was released for the original Xbox. Because that level drove me insane.
Look,
Old Tom Bombadil, the old man Willow.
I'm gonna Google it and just lie about it.
Oh, it's too late now. Her name was Goldberry.
Cool.
So, Ballard, do you de-weapon yourselves?
Sure. Don't have
It's
very
a little
many
bit
to
easier
begin
for magic users to de-weapon themselves in general.
Good point.
Um,
I resent that remark.
you
That's too
you
much.
do so, and you see her walk over towards the door, and she raps on it a number of times in a weird, complicated rhythm. And the door opens to a little halfling child that opens the door for her and motions you all through. Who's going in first?
Me.
Riley walks in
Okay.
front. No, I'm just.
Okay, so Falcon first, then
Yeah.
Beavis.
Like right on his ass. I'm like right there.
Yep.
Okay then.
Ready to rip out his hamstrings with your teeth. Then who? Thorgil, Balar.
And me.
Okay. Each of you, because actually, now that I'm thinking about it, all of you are magic users of some variation or another.
Yeah.
Um, the moment that you walk through the threshold, you feel an odd sense of dampening and emptiness about you. And you
Okay.
realize that all of your magic is gone.
I'm assuming Beavis says something about this on his way in the door.
I don't know, Beavis, do you say anything?
I kind of expected it. So, I mean, well, yeah, I guess I wouldn't say like holy shit, but I would be like, ah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you just.
But I don't think I would say anything more than that. So I don't think that Riley would know.
Okay.
I think I would just kind of feel the tingle and be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So.
No, I would talk about how I think it works. So you know, Riley.
Wait.
Okay.
Can I do like an intelligence check to see if my character actually understands what's going on, or I think I know how he would misunderstand it.
Then this is going to be Arcana if you're trying to discern
Arcana.
what's exactly happening magically.
Oh, okay. So let me try. Let's see.
Nope.
Okay, no. I definitely think that I'm being punished for like not praying enough or something like that. And
Your god has abandoned you.
Yeah.
You have gone into an unholy place.
Yeah. I just feel down myself.
I think
little bit.
if you're verbal about that, I would quickly disabuse you of the notion. But if you're just kind of taciturn and sad, wouldn't do anything.
No.
He just all of a
Yeah,
sudden
not
starts
now.
praying under his breath.
Yeah. Like if it becomes a bigger thing, I'll probably say something. But right now, just
Sad.
The woman notices that all of you kind of like, and like she like frowns for a second, and then like she smiles, and then she holds both hands out, and when she does that, she points at all of you, and then she holds her hands close, like she's like holding herself close, and then she makes a face like a kind of like a sad frown, and then she just wipes it, and then she smiles.
Totally Miss Mime over here.
Can I try to cast minor illusion, like a non-threatening, non-hostile magic?
Of course.
So I try to do that.
Nope.
Okay.
You do it, and you're basically like snapping your fingers, and nothing's happening.
Then I think I would turn around and say, like, that doesn't seem fair. Like, I understand why, we put our weapons down and we put our fire bolts down, but I can't make an illusion for the kids. What am I going to do?
She frowns at that, and then she points, and she does a she points at she does like this, like in the sky, like to indicate like the sun, and then she points like here, and then she points here, and then she points outside, like maybe another time.
Okay.
And we lost Clark.
Oh no! ¿Por qué?
His internet died.
I hope that losing his magic, he's killed himself.
Wow.
Cut off the magic, cut off the net. Officially, you hear
Oh
it here
yeah, he's
first.
in like a
The internet
weird
is magic.
half alive, half dead state anyway, right? Maybe without magic, his body just collapsed.
Yeah. He just goes random.
Wow.
Well, how about we take a quick little break to give him some time to return,
I'd say that seems reasonable.
since we're coming up on an hour.
If I roll a good enough intelligence check, will you like translate her charades into words?
Yeah.
Or-
Absolutely.
Okay.
So when we come back?
So let's see, what time do I got? I have 8:11. Let's make it 8:15.
Yeah.
I-
Just a few minutes to refresh drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To find out what's happening with Valar one way or another.
Yeah.
All right. So we left off with you all speaking to this Goliath woman. Well, you all speaking to her. She apparently has not spoken a word to you.
Can I just outright ask her if it's a choice or magic or injury? I know that's kind of rude, but I mean, I'm not very polite.
It's true, he's not.
She looks at you and you can see that there's a sadness in her eyes when you ask that, and she makes a bird sound from her mouth that sounds like a nightingale, a very sorrowful nightingale tone. And then she points at her voice box, her throat, and then she just shakes her head.
Can we help?
It's hardly the first curse we've run into.
She waves her hand and in an emotion, and then she thinks for a second and she goes, God, how would she try to explain this? She points at Balar, and then she motions her head no, and then she points at her throat, and then she rocks like she's holding a baby in her arms.
Of course.
Valar has to have a child and sacrifice it to you.
I think she looks like horrified at that notion.
Question: is the door
Ain't nobody
open?
having a kid around here.
Can I make an int check to see what the hell that means?
Yes, you can certainly do an in check. The door is not open, but there is a few panes of glass that you
I
maybe
would
can
presume
barely
she
see the group
means-
through.
I presume she's like me and was cursed as a kid.
It's not too hard,
Or she
Beavis.
gave her
She's
voice to a
basically
child.
saying it's not a curse. She was born this way.
So it's not Maybelline.
Yeah, it's not Maybelline. Well, she was born with it. I think maybe about that point, Fex, you feel a slight tug on your back shoulder as the staff pushes you forward in the cabin a little bit.
Oh, also you guys can hear me, right? Because Skype
Yeah.
said something was
Yeah,
up.
we hear you fine.
That was weird. Yeah, but I really don't want to be rude to this person. She also might not even know I have the staff.
Maybe not, but somebody here has something.
Yeah, but I made a point to put my weapons down, and I don't want to just draw another weapon or a bunch of kids.
Just knock her out. Then we got free reign. Non-lethal.
Says the evil
Okay.
guy.
I don't know if you're aware of this, Falcon, but you shouldn't listen to his advice.
I figured.
Riley would like to roll a perception check to see if he could hear that statement. Or
Sure, you gotta roll really fucking high though.
don't care.
Watch your nat 20 yet. I think you don't hear it, but you definitely understand the gist of it, just because, like, this is a warning that you have given everybody.
I would like to follow up by yelling through the door, "You should listen to him!" Referring to... sorry, you should listen to Thorgil, not him. That was ambiguous.
Yeah. Girl. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
listen to
guess-
me.
I think with this thing, would you care to show us around? I'm very curious about your place.
She kind of frowns for a second, and then she kind of shrugs, and she walks you around and gives you kind of the full gander of this place.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's a large cabin. She has about what seems to be, as much as you can gather from a bunch of children running all over the place, upper teens worth of kids of mixed races here. There's actually even a child minotaur in this place.
Oh.
which comes to about like 5 feet tall, but is definitely a child. And what looks like a some kind of half elf that's part dark elf in here.
All right, and the whole time I'm paying attention to the tug.
Sure. So there's obviously that number of kids, kitchen, a fireplace, things like that. And as she leads you around, she passes what looks like two sets of doors. And when you walk past the second one, you slightly get thrown off balance as the staff tries to go through that door.
Uh-huh. All right. I'll definitely ask. Like, how about this door? What's behind it?
She looks at you and she points at herself, and then she points like this, like maybe it's her bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And she continues upward, and when she gets to the attic area for this place, you can see that that's where all the children stay. All their
Nice.
beds are up in the attic area.
Can I roll like a general investigation check, like as we move through the house, to see if I see any soiled bandages or blood stains or like needle and thread?
Sure. Give me a... Let's say this is an investigation, because it's not so much perception as like...
Man, I'm rolling really low tonight, which is probably good, because later when we get into combat...
Now,
You almost miss it, but there seems to be, at the back door of the building, which is through the kitchen, a pot of with the lid off, and you just take like a quick gander to see if it's like, oh, is this like, like a chamber pot type thing? And when you look inside, you get the whiff of blood in it. And from a deeper glance, you can see that there is indeed bloody bandages in there.
I want to try and surreptitiously mention this to Thorgil and ask if I'm allowed to just straight up ask her about it.
wait,
I mean, Riley isn't here to stop you.
can I roll an insight check to see if I notice people talking about me?
Sure.
How would that work?
You randomly sneeze out in the snow.
Okay, that's all I wanted.
That's only the way that would really work.
I know that's all I wanted to do.
So I guess as soon as Valken's finished with what he's doing with her, I'm gonna ask my question.
Bluntly.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm Beavis. I don't.
So what's the question?
Oh, I thought she was still doing something with Valken.
Well, she was leading you all through the house.
Oh, okay. Can I reach up and like tug on her sleeve like one of the kids might do?
Sure, yeah.
Oh.
I'll say we have been trying to find someone injured. We think they may need help. It seems that you have had someone injured here recently, and I don't see anyone injured. Is there any chance that you're harboring our potential friend? And I'd be like winking, like while I ask.
I'd like to imagine you're winking continuously while you ask her. Just
Yeah.
non-stop winking.
Just kind of looks like you have like Tourette's.
Yeah.
Beavis is having a minor stroke.
Pretty much.
When you say that, she looks and she shrugs and she makes the motion no.
Is there a chance someone has been here without your knowledge? Because there's bloody bandages out back or near the back.
She thinks about it and she goes, and then she points at a couple of the kids and she like just says like it happens, like kids get hurt.
I'm gonna waggle
What a
my
liar.
finger. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna waggle my finger accusatorily. and that's it.
She just smiles at you. So yeah, she then leads you back to the main common area, and she takes one look outside at Riley standing in the snow, and she like makes a motion for you like to come in, which you apparently ignore.
Wait.
And
So she's just telling me to come in?
yeah, she's waving like like you don't have to be out there, like you can come inside.
Well, if I have her invitation at this point, I will just walk in the door.
Okay. Well, I mean, the moment that you get to the thing, she's gonna motion for you to put your weapons down. She's not letting you walk in with your weapons.
I put down any, weapon-related things that... Actually, I put down all of my weapons. What? God dang it, I'm an idiot. Never mind, I put down all my weapons.
Okay. You do so, and when you walk through, you feel that same weird dampening thump against your body as you walk through the door. And lo and behold, you realize you don't have any of your magic.
I ask Beavis if... I whisper to Beavis when I first get to him if we're in another dimension.
I loudly reply, I'm pretty sure we're not. But there's definitely something higher power going on here. And then I snap my fingers and see, like, look, I can't even do an illusion. And again, I point accusatorily at the Goliath woman.
Wait, you mean you're always that small?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll give you inspiration for that joke, just because it was so subtle.
Oh, wait, me?
Yeah, you.
Sweet.
Cash it in for experience.
Yeah, I've turned it into experience just right away. How much is it again?
25 times your level.
Gotcha. 25 times 6. Okay.
Should be 150. And she motions over to the table that they have, and you hear her once again whistle some kind of chirping tune, and a number of the kids come running into the room and start setting up the table. And the little Minotaur boy comes running in, and he's got a big, like, warm loaf of bread, and he begins cutting it and serving it to you all. There's some jellies that another, let's say, a little elf girl puts down on the table for you all, and she motions to the table, and then she says she does the same motion for like time, and then she says she makes a motion like she's like spooning something into her mouth, like give it a little bit of time, and maybe like she'll feed you like dinner or something like that. But this is like being a good guest, good host.
Yeah, I'm going to say though, would gold be of any help for you? Because I don't want to burden you with this meal.
She frowns and shakes her head. At all? No. She makes a motion like she's like trickling gold, and then she shakes no, and that's the best that she could do. She doesn't want your money.
Okay.
Do any of the children speak, or are they all silent?
You can talk to one. Is there any one of them that you'd like to speak to?
Well, obviously the Minotaur. Come on. I want to sit at the table near the Minotaur, and I want to bring like one of my toys out of my robes. And kind of put it on the table and see if I can get some interest in any of the kids.
Oh yeah, they all are suddenly super interested in this weird thing that you pull out.
So while they're playing with it, I kind of want to ask, like, how's life here? Like, what do you guys do when some of the area's nastier creatures come around?
I think since you're kind of directing this towards the Minotaur boy, he doesn't seem so interested in the toy, but he like, as you begin to ask that, he interrupts you and he goes, "So, do you do magic?"
Well, usually, but Your Auntie Goliath over there seems to have a problem with my illusions. If you want to come out front, I can show you some crazy shit.
Language.
Then how do you get the thing to move without magic?
Oh, that was a horrible question to ask. This poor little kid is gonna get slammed with information. I'm gonna talk about gear ratios. I want to talk about like the material components and
Number
like,
of teeth per second.
Use the store of potential energy. Yeah, the bell system I've got so it can make noise. This kid's gonna hate me.
Riley listens to all of it.
Yeah, the boy actually seems to take it in stride. Like, you can definitely tell that to a point he doesn't understand like some of the things that you're saying just because it's way over your head. But at least he's putting on a facade, like he's understanding, like he's like just as smart as whatever you're talking about.
Maybe I would have one of them that I'm like taking apart while I explain it to him so he can see it.
Right. Yeah, he definitely like maybe gets it a little bit more at that point. He goes, Kirei takes good care of us.
Wait, what was the name?
Kirei?
Can you spell that for me, young Minotaur? I need to put it in my character sheet.
No, I haven't learned my letters yet.
I can definitely help you there. All right, I'll do it phonetically.
Just for note's sake, it's Kirae.
I was close. I had a Y instead of an A. Okay. I'll say I'm happy to hear that, but how did you all end up here?
Kirei came and got us. Sometimes Uncle shows up, brings little kids here.
Oh, who's this uncle of
I
yours?
take care of everyone while Uncle is gone.
Oh, can you tell me more about this uncle of yours?
He's nice. Also, Goliath. I get along good here. Most people are afraid of my folk.
Well, that's silly. You guys are cool as hell.
How long have you been here?
I've been here about a year. A number of the kids have been here longer. 5, 6 years, most of them. And he points at the little halfling girl that let you in. He goes, she's been here about 2 months, maybe 3.
And we get the impression that this is a smart kid, even though he sounds like that.
It's just because it's really hard for a cow face
Yeah.
to make common speech.
Yeah, but he seemed pretty smart when I was talking to him.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly not brilliant, but I mean,
Average.
he's speaking fluent common
Yeah.
out of a cow head. That's something to stand up to. And of course, there's other kids there if you wanted to just double check anything he said.
No, I think we're good with the Minotaur, so you have to keep doing that voice. I'm pretty happy with this.
Okay.
So, does your uncle have a name?
Yes. He's. I just call him Uncle. It's easier. But other people know him as Uncle Yokeg, or
Oh, I knew it!
just Yokeg.
I think Riley and Beavis would say that at the same time and surprise the kid.
Before that I was debating actually, like, just going on this tale of trying to get Beavis to just regale just the descriptions of Yokeg.
Right.
I do.
I think
I
when
would
both of you like do your Eureka, he like springs backwards in surprise, very nimbly, but like he like leaps like a good like 4 or 5 feet off the ground when he does so, just due to his
Aw.
strength.
Riley applauds him.
Yeah.
Well, would they know who that is? I know they have met it, but
They do.
because
They've met
I
this
have-
character. You have not.
Okay,
Yeah, we've
but
met him a couple times.
not about Tails or anything.
No, we've actually met him.
Okay.
I think I'd hold my hands out and say like, no, we know your uncle. We know he's he's a wonderful man. Goliath.
You
Awesome.
notice from across the room that Kirei, who was scooping bowls of stew, has stopped and is paying very close attention to what is going on over there.
I'd like to follow up with, oh, so when was the last time your uncle was by?
You hear a quick chirp sound, and the Minotaur looks over and sees Kirei like shaking her head no, and he looks back at you and he goes, "I'm sorry, I don't really remember. It was a while though."
Do I notice that he was
There's a thing called an insight check where you can see if someone's lying or not.
Do I notice the head shift immediately when that happened?
Oh yeah, it wasn't a, like she didn't like hide it that well.
Well, then why don't we turn our attention to her and just say, I know you have reason to be concerned, but we are friends of Yokeg. If any, I'm actually pretty sure I have a ritual that can summon him if you want to talk to him. It's worked. It's kind of worked once before.
Didn't he tell you not to do that?
Yeah, he wasn't happy about it, but he's generally a pretty jovial guy.
Really? So it's safe to say that he was here within the last week then.
How do we know the last
The
week?
little Minotaur boy goes, "No, he hasn't been here in a long time."
Oh, were you because you're still thinking that the injured Goliath is Yokeg.
I've been thinking that since we heard about the whole meteor thing.
I don't know, because I don't think that Yokeg is the guy that we saw using the spear on the spear. I think it's another Goliath. Although this is all out of character, total guess, so we may as well just keep talking to this lady.
Mm-hmm.
What does she say when I tell her, like, I know this is concerning for you, we are friends of Yokeg. We've met him multiple times. I'm pretty sure I could bring him here.
She just shakes and she kind of makes a motion. She goes back to filling the stew like nothing's wrong. But the little Minotaur boy definitely starts to kind of like reassert that Yokeg hasn't been here in a while.
I'd like to whisper to Beavis, oh, I wonder how much she actually knows. Should we start mentioning the other members we know?
Well, I mean, you know, as soon as you say that, I'm going to start talking.
I know, I'm banking on it.
So I think the only ones I know by name are Dalor and Roshi, but I would say, oh, actually, Kirei, do you know Roshi? Because so far we've met Dalor and Yokeg, and they were cool as hell. Roshi, not a big fan of her. What's going on there?
When you mention Roshi, the wooden spoon that she's using to scoop out snaps. in her hand.
I knew it.
Does she look angry? Does she look angry or scared?
She now looks a little bit angry at herself because like she spilt a little bit of stew on her hand, like this steaming stew. So then she goes about like trying to clean, and she hands like the bowl to one of the kids. So like now she's like just trying to like take care of the cleaning situation.
Riley walks over to help her clean up.
I could prestidigitate it, yeah.
If you could do magic, you could.
Can't use
Oh, yeah,
magic.
you're right. Man, I'm so neutered.
I'm literally missing my magic balls.
Yeah.
Please tell me he tried anyway.
Oh, I definitely did, yeah.
I think that prestidigitation is definitely like one of those like muscle memory kind of spells that it's just like he's like, oh fuck, right, like of course. All right, Steven, get a point of inspiration for falling for the Zack trap.
Okay.
Role play.
So it's 25 times my level, so it's
150.
Sweet.
Yeah, if you're level 6, it's 150.
Yeah. You know I'm an XP whore, so I'm not.
Yep. Yeah, it's so like I think like overall there's a little bit of tension in the room. Like all the the kids are kind of just like looking around and like trying to figure out what's going on between Kirei and the rest of you all.
Yeah, and Vulcan is basically as lost as the kids because he doesn't know any of the names. Like, what's going on exactly?
This interaction has
Um,
been pretty funny.
Yeah.
So Kirei, you see after she's done, she gives you all the soup, still kind of pointedly ignoring the fact that anything has been wrong. Even though I think it's the elephant in the room, so to speak. And she grabs the Minotaur boy has told you are basically the two youngest and newest members of the house, the two more recent kids, and she puts them. She sits down in like this nice chair, and she puts each of them on a knee, and she begins to whistle a song. Just a kind of like almost like a lullaby-ish type song, but it's different sounds of bird calls that she has morphed into some weird melody, but it seems to almost go to the rhythm of the wind outside and the crackling of the fire. And I need you all to roll me a will save.
I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Wisdom?
You got it.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
No, 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 no.
No.
No! All of you fall asleep.
Does Rocky fall asleep?
Oh yeah, Rocky falls asleep too. So you basically are listening to the song, enjoying the soup, and right about the point that you're all done eating, you all just kind of lean back and just like enjoy the music, and then when you wake up again, all of you are on bed mats in the same room, just sleeping on like bedrolls. You all have warm fur blankets over each of you. Those of you that were wearing heavier armor, you see that you have been stripped of your armor, but the armor is nearby. And you all have actually been, for the most part, groomed or cleaned. At least your face and your arms and your legs are. She didn't take off your clothes or anything like that. But you seem to have been taken care of while you were sleeping. And obviously all of your stuff's there. You see that at this point, your weaponry is also now in the house. She didn't leave it outside, and it is hanging from like coat pegs near the door.
I'd like
wait,
to.
wait.
Empty though, right?
Huh?
Everything's empty though. There's no people around.
The kids all seem to not be there. You can hear her whistling a very quiet tune from the kitchen area.
I'd like to use. Can I summon my bound weapons to see if they happen to come to me?
You try, and it does not work.
I didn't think so.
That requires magic.
Yeah, Vulcan wants to know if the staff is nearby. Like, the first thing he thinks of.
You begin to immediately check for where the staff is, and you see that it is not amongst all the things that you guys have.
Saw that coming.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm
Okay.
assuming Falcon on a rampage.
Yeah, he'll be pretty mad actually. He'll go straight towards the. Sounds like this. Will he put his armor first? I'm not sure.
Oh, if you're unsure, 1d2.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
do that.
Falcon.
So.
As much as I like murder,
And trust me, he does like murder.
I'm not. Maybe hold.
Wait. Wait, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, where's Pamina?
That's what I was just about to ask.
Okay. So you all begin looking around, and like I think you kind of look to see if like she's around, and you hear a girl's voice laughing from the kitchen, And as you peek around the corner, you see that Pamina is helping her clean the
Of
bowls.
course.
Does she
and
have?
the,
Does she have
and
the?
the things.
Does she have the spear?
No, she does not. She just seems to be helping this Kire woman clean up after you all.
I'd like to try to get Rocky to look for the spear.
Okay. Animal handling.
No dice.
Nope.
Rocky's confused.
Rocky's still a little sleepy, so he just like renuzzles himself back into your clothing.
I give him a sideways glance and continue on my way.
Yeah, he's definitely not a morning person. And as you guys look out, I guess like kind of like when you go like you're looking about the house, you realize that it's basically dawn right now. You've essentially slept off like half a day.
Wait a minute. So,
Had a
long rest?
Oh yeah, the long rest.
Yes, definitely a long rest. You're all back up to full HP. You have your spells back. You get
That I
back
can use.
half your hit dice if you had spent any. And that's what I meant about like I knew that you guys would not get into any combat before the next long rest, because I knew that she'd probably put you all to sleep.
What was the save? Oh, I mean, I guess it's like was it like a 15 saving on that?
Yeah, it was a 15 DC.
Yeah.
I didn't make hers too high because I didn't want to like just instantly fuck you all, but I knew that would get most of you.
My
Yeah,
+1 just
so-
wasn't enough.
Vulcan will like pick up his shield and sword, but not hold it, right? Like keep it on his back. I'm not sure.
Okay. Falcon, as you go to grab your weaponry, you immediately notice that not only has your armor and yourselves been cleaned, but your weapons have been oiled. The leathers have been oiled as well, and everything seemed basically she has taken care of your weaponry as well, in some way, shape, or form. There's actually dents that you had on your shield from the battles, and those have been removed. She's actually remended those in some way. But I need you to roll me a strength saving throw to pick up your weaponry and shield.
Oh, okay. A saving throw, right?
Yep. That's an at one. You can't get them off the hangers.
I
Do I need to do that to pick
saving
up my
throws. What
staff
is
and-
that?
If you want to pick up your staff, Beavis, go ahead and roll me a strength saving throw.
If I pass and you don't, I have a -1.
Ah!
Oh. So I think immediately after Falcon tries, I'll try, and I'll really yank at it, and I'll be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it
I'm
basically
not even gonna
feels like
bother.
your staff's been like nailed to the floor. Like you just can't lift it at all. But they look like they're just hanging on pegs.
Can I roll Arcana to see if I can figure out how they are stuck
Sure.
there?
Yeah, definitely.
Your Arcana fails because you're in a no magic zone.
Yeah. This definitely seems to be some kind of hex that prevents you all from lifting weapons inside this house. One could surmise, due to like the way that the anti-magic of the house is and things like that, that in some way this house has some kind of enchantment to prevent violence within it. And that probably, unless she gives you those weapons, you will not be able to pick them up. Or it will require great strength, and they will feel like they weigh like a ton each.
Would Divine Sense be a thing that was removed by the house thing?
Probably, but you're welcome to try it.
Yeah, okay, so because I can't see from my friends or anything,
Uh-huh.
I'll go close to where I think she is, right? Not trying to be sneaky about it, and use Divine Sense, and probably go for like Celestial?
Okie doke.
I never remember. It's here.
Okay. It's hard. It's hard enough that I think probably the way I want to do this, I want to do like we did last time, where you do a religion check to see
Uh-huh.
to what capacity and how powerful your sense is.
Let's see.
Okay. This was super hard, but you succeeded. It's
Yay.
because basically you had to fight through the magic of the house.
Mhm.
It was literally an 18 saving throw.
Oh.
So good job on that.
Nailed it.
But even then, it's hard. It's like trying to listen to a conversation underwater.
Yeah.
As you do this, and you immediately gain the sense that both Kirei,
Mhm.
as well as somewhere else nearby, exudes extreme celestial presence.
Do you inform us?
Oh, yeah.
The other location is from her room.
Yeah, this is a word thing that I don't know. Would all celestial beings being good, or just like generally good?
All celestial beings are viewed as good.
Okay.
However, the issue that often arises with celestial beings, where like all demons and fiends are bad,
Mhm.
is their perspective. When you have an entity
Yeah.
that literally cannot die, their purview of how the world works and what falls under good is much different. Like in the case of celestials, they might see the death of a single child as okay because that child, the what can come from that child will create other branches of fate and destiny.
Yeah,
So
no,
they
I
can very
understand
much
that.
be for the greater good.
Right. But they're
Yeah.
looking at like a world or planar scale on things. So
Mhm.
sometimes people are like, gee, that's actually bad. You know, like if they like let a kid, like if they just watch a kid drown in the river, everyone's gonna be like, that's really fucked up. That's not good. You saved the kid. But they're sitting there and they're like, but they either know or have an understanding of who that kid is or who he belongs to and the reactions and situations that might come of it.
Yeah.
Like maybe if that kid dies, that kid was the kid of a noble, and that noble sets about building a bridge over that river so that no one accidentally dies, which then sets about a great peace between two lands from that bridge in the future. And
Yeah.
no one would have any clue that any of that was going to happen, but the Celestial does, or has enough foresight to figure that that might
Yeah.
be the case.
So,
But
oh, go ahead.
That's a really long-winded and breathy answer to that, but just to be fair about like how the way Celestials work.
yeah,
They might
but as a
still
paladin, I probably would like respect or trust their judgment a little bit.
Do you mention your divine sense findings to the party?
Oh yeah, yeah. I would say that she is
then can Riley and I
very
just
Where-
strong.
Where's
being.
and Riley knows that the staff is missing as well. I'm assuming due to Valken's
Sudden antics, yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I'll probably like immediately say to everyone like, look for the staff. Like, stop what you're doing and look for the staff. That was the first thing I did when I woke up.
And you mentioned that her room was also glowing, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a glow. He can just sense
There's something there. Where is
60 feet, which is basically the house.
where is everyone in respect to her room? Like, where is her door the door to her room with respect to
So
everything?
there's the main room, which is like the living and family quarters, which is all in the front. Basically, dining, living, and family room is all in the front. And then there's the two rooms, and then basically across from that is the kitchen and door toward out the back. It's a very humble living space.
So, is there direct line of sight from her room to the kitchen then?
Yes. Like she could turn around in the kitchen and see her room.
No, I'm gonna need a distraction.
Well, why don't we just say like, hey, you okay?
Wait, what?
What do you? Yeah, what is that?
He's wanting to start yelling Yokeg's name to see if he can get like Yokeg to come out or to
Yeah.
get
Can I-
her
yeah,
flustered
can I
again or something.
Can I just walk over and knock on her bedroom door and say like, Yokeg?
I won't stop you.
Does she stop
yeah.
me?
So you do that, and you hear Kirei begin to whistle again, and all of a sudden Pamina's next to you, and she goes, "Shh, the kids are sleeping upstairs."
And then I will knock softly and go, "You okay?"
Yeah. Yeah, you like she definitely lets you do that, but like she kind of stops the knocking. She puts her hand in front of like the knock, so you like knock on her hand, and she's like, "Quiet."
Oh, she does have a point. We should be kind to the children. Although, Pamina, I do have a question. Did you
And then well, hold on, and then you see her look back towards Kirei, and she begins whistling like a bird at Kirei. And Kirei whistles back, and they seem to almost have like this little like 2 to 3 second back and forth through like bird whistles.
like Beavis, translate for me?
I think that Balar's sister has been taken from us.
Yeah,
She's
what is
gone
this?
batty.
I mean, dude, you can comprehend languages, can't you?
No, I don't know where the hell that spell went. I can't figure it out. It's not on my character sheet. I definitely had it because we used it when we were in the Wood Elf City, interrogating that orc, but it's just gone. I don't know what happened. Something must have happened when Roll20 updated.
I mean, you could add it back to your sheet.
It had to be like a level 2-ish spell or something, right?
Yeah. But I don't like. There's a chance that like a year ago I got rid of it for something else, but I don't remember doing that. So I just was kind of.
Do a spell count. Make sure you're up to date.
Yeah, I don't know how long that would take. I don't know how exactly many I'm supposed to have at this level. I got 2, 4, 6, 8 level 1 spells. No, John, I'm pretty sure it was level 1. 2, 4, 6.
So I'm looking through.
We do. Fact.
Can y'all not hear me?
I can see you. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, it would be a spell called
Okay.
Comprehend Languages.
Yeah.
For the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language
Yep.
that you hear.
But
You
we
also
can't
understand any
speak them.
written language that you see, but you must be touching the surface on which the words are written. It takes about 1 minute to read 1 page of text.
Yeah.
The spell does not decode secret messages in a text or in a glyph, such as arcane sigils that aren't part of a written language.
Yeah, I've used that before. We used it when we were in the Wood Elf City.
Right.
I just can't
However,
where it went.
it wouldn't work because you can't cast magic in here.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That makes sense. All right. What are you whistling? Then what are you whistling about?
She she turns around. Pamina turns around. She goes, "Oh, I was just talking to Kirei."
Oh, I
Do you
had.
feel okay, Amina?
I'm sorry. Say again.
Do you feel okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Y'all had quite the nap there.
I wasn't intentional.
And what did you do while we were napping?
How long have we been sleeping?
About 10 hours.
And during that 10 hours, you
I helped
were
her clean up.
strapped into a chair and brainwashed?
So
No. We cleaned up. We put all the dishes in the sink, and then we put down all the kids. And then we came back down here and we had tea. And it took me a little bit to pick up on the nuances of the language, but I was able to figure it out.
Okay.
And yes. And
No, I think-
then she asked if I would help out, and so I've been helping her out.
So what happened to the our nice, lovely lawn ornament while you were cleaning everything?
What lawn ornament?
Our
Okay, welcome to just say, we just say the staff. The staff is very important to us, Pamina.
Oh, I don't know. I've brought in your weapons and cleaned them, but I don't remember the staff.
Okay, and welcome also ask, and this is mostly like a leading question. If we left now, would you like to stay here?
She goes, "No, why the hell would be the point of that? I mean, she's nice and everything, but I'm supposed to go with my
Okay.
brother."
All right. I most want to see that if the celestial being kind of
Oh,
like
it was like
trapped her
brainwashing
that
her,
way.
right?
Yeah, that's
You
why.
should
No,
stay here.
Oh,
You should always stay here.
oh, she's
Yeah, no.
she's definitely fine then.
Yeah, no, you see that inherent like rebelliousness at like the last time you guys tried to drop her off somewhere. She's like,
All right.
nope, not happening. Nice try. Fuck you.
Just normal then. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I would like to just go and talk to her,
What?
or talk at the woman.
Well,
Correct.
I feel like if Pamina can figure out this language to a competent degree in 10 hours, I should be able to like have some basic phrases. Like, shouldn't Beavis be able to speak this the way like I can speak Spanish?
Como
Like,
un lápiz.
Have to the bathroom and make a fool of myself, you know, like can kind of communicate.
I would say under normal circumstances, yes, but she has special means to do what she's doing.
Oh, okay. So Pamina didn't necessarily figure it out. She was aided.
She doesn't have like an intellect of 20, and that is why she has beat you in this endeavor.
Oh, okay.
She has a very high intellect, but it is not to the point where Beavis should just inherently beat this.
Okay.
Because if it was a normal language, yes, and just like comprehend languages actually wouldn't work on that spell. It's not a real language. It's basically speaking like code.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So, the next time they talk, can I use an animal handling check to see if I understand the bird calls?
I will say yes, no. You're welcome to try to gather something from it.
Huh? Okay.
All right.
Do you want me to roll that now, or just wait until that happens?
Let's go ahead and do it now, because like they're talking amongst themselves without issue. You gather that there is definitely patterns in the way that they are speaking, both in the cadences of the pitches, as well as rhythms and bird song used. You're not sure how it works, but there is definitely, like, now that you know that there's a pattern to it, you're beginning to recognize that there's patterns. Like, you're like, oh, this is actually, like, she's not just doing this randomly. There's a way to do it. And then when you start, like, listening to it all, you're like, okay, there's something here. This is just so foreign, I don't know what it is.
I relay this information to Beavis.
To aggravate him greatly.
Yeah, but I do think I would speak to her in Celestial.
Okay.
I want to say I think it's out of character to treat us as if we are an enemy. We've never been anything but a friend to the council, and if you have the ability to look back at our past, we've been nothing but a friend to children. I don't like being kept in the dark, and I don't like being kept from my things.
She looks over at Pamina, and she kind of like raises her eyebrows, and Pamina nods, and then she begins doing this twittering, and Pamina replies, and for now on, we're just gonna say that Pamina always does this instead of me saying like she does this, and then Pamina retranslates. It's just from now on, when you speak to her, she's going to respond through Pamina.
Cool.
She has no dealings with this council that you speak of, nor does she know who they are. As towards children, that she is grateful for your affections towards them, and that she hopes that your good deeds translate into others being just as kind. The world does not see enough of it.
I'm gonna continue in Celestial and say, if you don't know the council, then you should ask Yokeg some questions. He may be keeping you in the dark about some things that could strongly affect your little commune here.
She replies that Yokeg has been nothing but kind and generous, and she is here to help him, not the other way around.
Oh, so he is here then. Wait, I don't hear that, because I... Wait, what does Pamina relay information in?
In common.
Okay.
The council has
At no point did she say that Yokeg's here.
strange affinity for kids in the past. Is this where they're freaking getting their kids?
She frowns and shakes her head. Like she
No,
doesn't even
I,
need
I
it.
don't. I wasn't saying that in character.
Okay.
I'm asking everybody else. Like that. I just put together that connection that the council has been gifting flowers to kids, and now we found a place full of kids that's supposed to help the council. But I do want to tell her that Yokeg has never shown anything but generosity to us either. But he is playing a more dangerous game than I think you understand.
The wilting gets to a more somber tone. The bird, Zach, you notice has changed. These are now nocturnal birds that she's referencing, and you begin to gather that the type of bird is a reflection towards the tone, and that pitch has something to do with subject matter.
If I could
So-
whistle, that would be great.
Yeah. I just know that you would find it interesting, the musical tonality of a language.
Just
But for when you get the translation, trying to remember what you were saying. What were you saying again? Just because I forgot it as I was doing my descriptions.
I said that Yokeg has never showed us anything but generosity or kindness either, and I don't want to. I don't want you to end your relationship with him, but I'm saying he's playing a very large and very dangerous game, and
Oh,
that's the council.
She responds with, "Believe you me, I know, and so does he, the game that he plays." And then she pauses, and then Pamita kind of like responds back. Like there seems to be some little back and forth between the two of them. And Pamita responds with, "He knows more than you about the game he plays."
Oh, I'm sure that's entirely true.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but how do you not know what the council is then? What the hell?
So, what's your beef with Roshi then?
No, I would reply to Riley and I'd be like, well, Roshi's a bitch.
No,
Pamina, without even waiting for a response, goes, "Second."
I just wanted to see what how that played out. To be honest,
What kind of bird would it be that replays the message of "she's a bitch"? Like what bird?
clearly a magpie.
What the free?
Flamingo, right?
Probably like some like avian hunter call.
Yeah.
Like a screech, like a more like a hunter's screech.
Caca, mother trucker.
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
don't
I
know.
just say, my staff. We need to know where my staff is.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about the incredible magic.
Balkan's just like dancing back and forth,
Yeah.
like
He's
this
in the
conversation has nothing to do with the staff.
Yeah. Pleasantries aside, where is it?
The Kirei.
Okay, sorry. 1 second. Is Beavis gonna relay that question in the better terms? Because I have a way to just ask him. No one just ask. Where is it? This was mostly out of character, I think. Or mostly to Beavis, not to.
Well, no, I mean,
We'll
she,
be more respectful to her. That's all.
she understands common, so if you're gonna interrupt us shouting about the staff, she would get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So despite being angry about it, I'll probably say something like, I understand I was not totally honest about putting away my weapons, that I brought a weapon into the house, but I did not intend to use it as a weapon. It was just very important for my people, and I was afraid to part with it anyway. And I would like to know where it is.
Kirei whistles a tone. This one sounds angry, in its tonality, and Pamina translates to she was well aware of what you brought into the house. The only reason that it was able to pass these doors was that it was not your weapon. and you would not be able to use it. As to where it is, she will not go back on her hospitality. She did not take your staff. And then Pamina kind of looks at you and goes, "And neither did I."
Alright, we already
Yeah.
covered you. Then where did it
Look at
go?
her.
And then she kind of like she squares up with you, kind of like looking up at you a little bit, and she goes, "And none of the kids did either.
Really?
I
You
put
are-
them all to bed. I would know if they took a staff. It's well bigger than any of them."
But I will say in Celestial that you are, in seemingly intentionally not mentioning the house guest we both know you have.
She twitters again, and Pamina says, "Her hospitality does not extend towards that level of knowledge. You are her guest, and you should act as such." She goes, "And I added the last bit."
Yeah, good hosts don't allow other guests to steal from their guests. Like,
Pamina kind of like looks down at you. She does one of those like hands on hips and bends at the waist to get down at your level. And she goes, "I think as she mentioned, that wasn't ours to begin with."
She's got you there.
not really. Like, I mean, it's no more the person who took it from us than ours. At least we earned it. We killed a shitload of orcs and saved somebody.
Minor skippers?
It belongs to
Yeah,
a museum.
keepers. Nah, possession
I
is
literally want to put it in a museum.
Riley's gonna
F.
Riley's
We're
gonna
the play characters.
Riley's gonna cough under his breath and go, "Murder hobo."
I don't know. My character, I think, would just drop it. Like, it's code weapon. I don't know if I could face her like that.
Okay, well then
Or weapons even.
Riley's
Oh,
gonna
no.
ask the question of, alright, well clearly it's not ours, so then who does it actually belong to?
The Kire twitters, and you hear Pamina say, "Well, I'd assume it's Yokeg's. I mean, that would make sense, right? If this thing goes all over the place and collects all these parts, and if Yokeg's like this super fancy, awesome like dude, then shouldn't he have a super awesome fancy stick?"
I mean,
Can I?
that's what I said, like, days ago, but nobody wanted to go with that.
Can I go outside?
Yeah. Also, you see Pamina. She goes, "So, also, like, didn't the staff like move about and like pull us in directions and stuff? Who says it didn't leave on its own?" And
Because
she pauses
Yeah.
for a second. She goes, "That sounds really dumb, but it actually makes sense."
it didn't move as long as nobody was holding on to it.
Yeah, when it wasn't in somebody's hand, it was still. But I guess we don't know that it would continue to act like that. Anyway, Beavis has tried to go outside. Can I get
Yes.
through the door?
Absolutely. You open the door
Can I
and
try
walk
and
through.
cast a minor illusion?
If you're still on the porch, then you cannot. The moment you get down to the
In the
snow, you
snow.
can.
Okay. I want to try and do my long-range communication ritual and talk to you. Okay.
Okay. So how's that work?
I just do it. You never gave me any details. I have it. If I have time and space, I can do it. I don't know. I never got like a material component or like. I'm assuming I have to draw some rituals and runes.
Is it a
Stuff like
spell?
that. No, it's a ritual. I like make a ritual circle. And
Oh,
I,
it's from the book. You're trying
Yeah.
to do the long range communication ritual
Yeah.
from the book. Oh. Okay. You go about doing it all. I need an Arcana check from you.
the first time I rolled decently all night.
You tap in, and you're You hear a kind of like almost like a static sound. And you then hear. Here's my note. Okay, there we go. You hear a voice come through, but this one is a voice you've never heard before.
Yo King is unavailable right now.
Caller, you have tried to, yeah.
It's a female voice, and she goes, "Who are you?"
I am a number of things. Who are you?
Beavis needs to have a whole list of titles.
You hear a lilting laugh, and she goes, "I too am a number of things, gnome. Hold still a second. Okay."
I start moving.
Call from the second house.
Because I see you now. What do you want?
I mean, I want a number of things. Right now, I was trying to talk to a friend.
And what friend is that? And to what level do you presume this friendship?
He's about yay tall.
Yeah. I don't. Forgive me if this seems rude, but I don't think I want to answer your questions until I know who has intercepted my call.
You called me?
I mean, no, because I was trying to call somebody else and I rolled a 26, so I dialed.
Wrong number, motherfucker.
But my end, I did things right. So either you accidentally got my buddy's cell number, or like.
You hear her laugh and she goes, "Oh, I do love gnomes. I'll put it like this. You tuned in at a communication frequency with your arcane magic that extends to a number of people. If it doesn't reach the first person, it jumps to the next, and to the next, until someone picks up. I happen to be the first to pick up.
Should I be worried that I reached you?
Depends on who you were trying to reach first."
Shit, I don't like this. That was in character.
You should just be like, is your refrigerator running?
Riley walks outside at this point because obviously it's been a while that Beavis is standing in the snow.
Yeah. So did Riley hear this, or is this in my head?
It's all in your head.
Crap. Then I guess I would say, Riley, I either have reached another member of the council we haven't met yet, or someone I really should not have called, but they're kind of creepy and they're in my head right now and they're waiting for me to reply.
What do you know of the council?
I don't want to tell you what I know of the council, ma'am.
Please tell me you're now repeating everything out loud.
Yeah, I think I would probably try and keep a running tab of what's going on.
Okay.
I would like to touch Beavis' shoulder to see if anything happens out of curiosity.
Everything seems fine.
And then say, well, you could always ask him about our plan B, the other guy seems to be not so upset with us.
No, I think I would say I'm not sure if I've contacted a fey, fiend, or celestial creature yet, or what's going on. So
She goes, "Oh no, I am none of those things."
Huh.
If I were a naive Goliath paladin in the service of good,
Yeah.
would we be able to be friends, or would that not work?
I prefer to act in realms of gray.
Oh, great, we're dealing with elves.
Do you say that to her?
No,
I mean like to Beavis. Does he go, "Are you an elf?"
No, if I were a small, arrogant, annoying gnome,
which you seem to be, you would have a better use for me, yes.
Would I be better served to talk to you again in the future? Because I don't know what the hell's going on.
Not sure, considering I don't know who you were trying to contact first.
Can I roll an Arcana check to see if I can make this a three-way call?
Sure.
Can I just like hold his head and bring him into it?
Oh, no!
Nope.
Do you like disconnect me from the call? Like. Okay, I'll say I fear that I may have done this in an inopportune time, but if you show me yours, I'll show you mine.
You hear a kind of a what? You know, like kind of like she goes,
Give me a piece of information that I ask, and I'll give you a piece of information that you ask.
I am one who has worn many masks.
Okay, that's fair. Now, whatever you ask, I'm going to give you a super vague, totally useless answer. So go ahead and ask.
If you were to explain the race of one of the council that you were trying to contact, how would you describe them?
The race of one of the members of the council that I am trying to contact, how would I describe them?
I yell and... it's like, oh, you're
Just
clearly
like,
looking
oh,
for a
because-
Goliath.
A race that inhabits Tavorel.
Oh, way to be broad and completely unhelpful, Beavis.
That's the goal.
She smiles. You can hear the kind of laugh, and she goes, I should have asked for specifics. Very well.
Does Beavis relay that to me?
Yeah.
Well, clearly you should have asked for specifics. You're dealing with Beavis here.
I'll say I am
Learn.
concerned and fascinated, and I am very sorry to have taken up your time. If you need to reach me again, here's a number. You can call me. Leave a message. I'll get back to you at my earliest convenience.
Oh, do not worry. I have already tracked down your location.
All right.
Does Beavis relay that to me? Please tell me Beavis says that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I am the call.
Are we gonna be hunted now?
Absolutely. You can just mush the snow down with your feet and...
Okay, I'll mush this note on my feet, and I want to go inside, and I'll say, you really should have been less cryptic, Kirei, because I'm pretty sure I just called down SWAT on us.
I think Pamita is the one that responds like Kira does, and she goes, "What the hell did you do?"
You don't want to know.
I have
Everything.
no idea.
I'm going to tell her everything, because I don't want these kids to get killed.
His shenanigans often just completely elude me.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I was there, and I'm still confused.
You describe it all, and Kirei whistles. You have angered a great being, but I and my children have nothing to fear from her.
Aye, that's fair.
Okay, but you didn't include our party in that sentence intentionally, right?
She shrugs and she goes, "To mess with the one of masks is to mess with everything."
I'm going to write down one of masks in my...
That's kind of what she said.
Yeah.
Kinda.
But I mean, she has to be in the like call network of the council, because she said if you try and contact this person, it'll like jump to the next and the next and the next, and then the first will pick up. So
Yeah.
it's got to be somebody who is somehow related to Yokeg, right? Maybe I should have been more upfront with her.
That's what I was trying to tell you!
Yep.
I don't know. I wrote down Lady of Masks.
Yo,
one
who
of-
dis? New phone.
creepy lady on the phone.
I mean, he could have asked for Dell or gotten a familiar, face on the line, but...
Anyways.
Whatever.
Um,
Somebody else do something. I'm confused.
okay, so let's go ahead and take a break. since there's a little bit of confusion. I have almost 9:30. Let's try to make it 9:35. If we all are back sooner, then we'll start sooner.
Sounds good to me.
Okie doke. Alrighty, let's dive back into it. So Beavis, you recently just spoke to a scary female voice from the other line of a long-distance collect phone call,
Who is hopefully a member of the council.
which God you hope is a member of the council.
Yeah.
And what do you guys do now that you've come back, kind of spilled your newfound information on Kirei, and she's given you a kind of a vague answer of you might have done a bad thing.
I proceed to walk into the kitchen and then just start helping her clean up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can see that a majority of the cleaning has already been done. Kirei and Pamina had done the majority of it, but there's still a number of utensilware that can use the 3 dunk method to finish being cleaned.
I think Vulcan would just kind of skulk around and try to help, but act like it's called a child, basically.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah,
So
not
you're
so much
just like
that, but,
sitting in front of the hearth, poking it with a fire poker.
yeah, like a good it's called a child, so like it's just trying to keep over trouble now because doesn't want to be out yet again, or something like that.
Gotcha. Alrighty. So, between Riley and Pamina and Kirei, they finish cleaning, and you see that Kirei says something to Pamina, and Pamina goes about setting on a kettle over the fire, and a number of metal cups get brought out, and you see a whiskey brought out, or a bourbon of some sort, some amber liquid, as well as a number of herbs get brought out. And when the pot begins to steam, you see Kirei dump these herbs into the pot. Basically, she's making tea. And at that point, when it's ready, she pours them into these mugs and hands them to you, and passes around this. It's probably like a large, like 1 liter flask type thing. It's jacketed in leather, so it doesn't like burn, but it's definitely metal, and it has like a little screw top on it. It's of good quality make, but definitely not like gnomish. It seems dwarvish in its initial kind of craftsmanship. Probably the mountain dwarves nearby. And when you uncork it, you can smell that it is absolutely alcohol, but it smells of some kind of spiced bourbon or spiced whiskey.
Vulcan doesn't drink.
Cool.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I know he
Like-
doesn't, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You just pass it.
I'll take Falcon's cup.
I
Riley,
think Valken probably wants the tea, just not the
Yes.
alcohol in the tea.
yeah.
This is to be supplemented into the tea to make it like alcoholic.
Okay, yeah. So just drink the tea then.
Yeah.
And then I guess he would say we shouldn't keep abusing of her hospitality. We don't have business here anymore. We should just
can't you see her door?
take.
Sorry, I don't mean it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sorry.
No, yeah, we should just take her breakfast and leave.
Falcon, she knows who has your staff.
She said it's not my staff.
Okay, she knows who has the staff we found that may be vital to what we want to do.
Is it
I
vital?
mean, I don't
What
give
do
a
we want to do? I just
If
wanted
you're-
to bring it back to my people.
Yeah. If you're cool with losing it, I'm not going to say a word, but she has. I won't say she hasn't been fair to us, but she has not been forthcoming.
Yeah, not at all.
I think right about that point in time, you hear a large crashing sound from down the hall near the kitchens. And immediately you see Kirei stand up and bolt down the hall and begin whistling something. And Pamina comes rushing after her and then just stands in the hallway staring at all of you. And then you hear the door creak open and slam.
Okay.
Wait,
Can I send Allie to investigate? What does he see?
Well, Allie's trying to get past Pamina.
wait, wait, she went out the front door or the back door?
She went into one of the rooms.
Oh.
Yeah, wait, yeah. I think we need clarification. So
Okay,
we heard
so you're all in the living room area.
Yeah.
Then down, like, basically a branch off from where you all are sitting in front of the fire. Here, let me see if I can just draw this real quick. Let's draw a shape. We'll do blue. So,
Is the cabin like the size of the one we see there, where I mean you could walk through the
Approximately.
whole thing in like 2 minutes?
so you all are good shape. Come on.
The heck?
Sound like a taser or a razor or something.
Okay, so basically the top right square is the kitchen. The bottom square is like the living room, dining room, and family room area. And then we'll say like that middle square at the top is like the hallway that leads to like the door here and the door here. And then these two top left squares are the bedrooms. So the doors are in the hallway. And Pamina, where's my free hand? So like Pamina is here.
Y'all.
Here. And Kirei went into the room up here.
And where did the crashing noise come from? That room she went
Somewhere down the hall, probably that room. If that's where she charged in, it's not difficult to surmise that she would charge into the room where the crashing came from.
Yeah.
Riley rushes over to the hallway. Oh, what happened?
Pamina looks at you and she goes, "Nothing."
Okay.
Can I try and
Then I will just
persuade-
then I will continue to walk past her to see what's going on then.
Oh, alright.
Are you going to contest her if she stops you?
I mean,
Because she is going to stop you. She has
Right,
positioned
right.
herself for the sole purpose of preventing anyone from getting past her.
oh, it must be a big deal of nothing if you're just not letting us through.
She's like, "I just really like this hall. It's really comfy here." And she does that thing where like she acts like she's sitting, but she puts her feet against the wall, so like you can't get past her. You know how like kids do that, like in a small hallway where they act like they're sitting against the wall.
Unless Riley's going to push past her, I want to try and persuade her to move.
Okay, what's up, really? I mean, you're very clearly trying to stop us from going in there, so that's... Presumably, Yokeg is in there, having recovered from whatever injury, and no one wants us to meet him for some reason. Is that true?
Pamina looks at you and she goes, "Listen, this is like super stupid, and I don't know why she's getting so much trouble, but she's really nice. I don't know this Yokai guy,
it's
but
super stupid, alright.
like she's super nice, and she's got all the little kids and everything. Like, are you guys gonna really make a scene with a bunch of kids upstairs?"
I'm trying not to.
Apparently, yes.
We just want to help. Oh, I just want to help. I think
No,
that's
you want the
first
safe back.
You know the kids are in no danger, and
Not anymore.
know we can probably help. So let us by.
She goes, "She doesn't want help."
That doesn't mean
I
that she
don't
couldn't use it.
Care. Yeah. People are short-sighted and self-defeating constantly.
I mean, let's be real here. Beavis never wants help.
Yeah. I have been short-sighted and self-defeating. I will be again short-sighted and self-defeating. Probably pretty soon. But for now, let me do the right thing. It's pretty rare.
I think there needs to be a persuasion roll.
Yeah,
Okay, that's coming from
is somebody
Pex.
getting like shocked?
Electrocuted, yeah. He's like tasering himself.
Hey, that's what he's into.
Yep.
Leave the man be.
It sounds like one of those things you play with at the science museum, like the electrical things.
Yeah.
The Tesla ball
Yeah.
or whatever those are.
Is anyone helping Beavis that has skill in persuasion to give him advantage?
Yeah, Chloric.
I kind of don't even want to bother.
That's
Really.
it's your call.
You don't have to.
But
You can stay. You can be like, this is so beyond me.
yeah,
I'm not
it's
fighting
kinda
my sister
dumb.
about this.
They clearly don't want us messing with him. Valor's like, who cares at this point? It sounded like a doorbell or something.
Yeah,
It sounded like-
yes it is.
Yes, it is. Um,
How does persuasion work? Does she roll contested or?
yeah, she rolls a contested. Yeah, you do not persuade her at all.
It's the bard in her.
She has no bard. nice prod and to try to figure out the class.
I mean, I'm trying to think of all the charisma-based classes, and it's the only one that's coming to mind right now.
She's like, listen, you seem like a nice gnome. I've never met really any other gnome, but you seem like a nice one.
It's okay.
Is that? Please tell me that's in character.
And Balor's at least been traveling with you.
No, that's
So-
definitely a
Oh,
character.
that don't mean nothing.
And if he hasn't killed you yet, then you have to be at least useful.
He's trying.
Oh, no, that, yeah.
So let's make a deal.
Oh, wait, this I gotta hear.
I like deals.
You all promise that I can travel with you all through thick and thin
Mm.
on your adventure. And I'll let you pass.
Riley immediately looks to Balor. Alright, what's your take on this?
It's real
I
tiring
actually-
arguing this thing over and over
Me
again.
and the girl.
So,
I'm saying letter. There's a letter.
wait, like defeated, like you've been defeated there?
I've
Yeah,
already been
at
here.
this
I've
point.
already done this.
I think that's a yes, because I personally don't mind, and I was really just gonna say yes if he said no, so.
I want to look up at her and say, with conditions, if we enter into something that looks suicidal, you are not coming with us.
I feel that that's a matter of opinion, and if I've learned anything from my brother, it's that my family's good at getting out of death situations.
Killed it!
If you want to come with us, those are the conditions. I cannot allow someone of your level of potential naivety to walk into a death trap.
Well, okay, I would like to look from Beavis to Valken to Beavis to Valken to Beavis to. After he says
I'll
that.
put my hand up and be like, he is full grown. Whether he understands or not, it is his choice. But the girl can only walk into dangerous situations, not certainly fatal situations.
She smiles and then she responds with a mix of abyssal and in celestial. It still sounds like a matter of opinion, but you have a deal.
Alright, I will spit in my palm and hold it out.
You see her flick her thumb across her hand, and she smacks her hand against yours in a shake.
Like with blood? Because that's not cool.
Well, she just does like this, and then she holds her hand out.
Do I need to roll an insight check to know what that is? Or some?
Perception.
I think, yeah.
I mean, like, Beavis, you're right there. You don't have to roll if you just be like, I look before I shake
Is
her
there
hand.
blood in her palm?
Yep.
Alright, I'll say I'm not into that creepy. You can do a spit. Give me the other hand.
Just shake her hand. Come on.
What about transmissible diseases, Balar?
That
Doesn't matter when you're
doesn't
dead.
apply in this case.
All right, screw it, and I'll shake her
Okay.
hand.
All right, you do so. And she goes, "Ow, my ankle! I fell!" And then she like stumbles out of the doorway.
Nice.
Who's rushing down the hall?
Everyone, I guess.
Yeah, Beavis
Um,
first. I want to see what's in the doorway.
Nah,
So,
I'm gonna hang back. I don't care.
as you do so, you see coming out of the room Kirei holding a looks like near dead Yokeg. He is fully decked in plate mail. And you can see that plate mail in a number of spots has what looks like puncture marks, like a large spear has stabbed through it. And in those areas, you can see that his skin is black with necrofied skin.
I think
it's
my
basically
instincts
rotting away.
would just kick in, and I'll try to lay on hands on him.
And you can't tap into it.
I can't. Okay, I'll try. But yeah,
You
all
do
right.
run over and you assist with it. You can see though that in his other hand, what's helping him up on the other side is the staff.
I would say you short-sighted fools. Is there a way to drop this anti-magic field, or do we need to get him outside to help him?
You see Yokeg look up at you all, and he smiles and he goes, "Well, been a long time. Step outside, good idea for magic.
Bad idea.
for problem coming."
Is that his accent when we first met him?
No, it was not.
Not from being Russian, but maybe
Yeah,
he's
you know.
injured.
He took a blow to the head. Oh no.
So,
Well-
just a reference.
Yeah.
When you first few times you spoke to him, he was very clean in his comments.
Can't stop.
But right now, he speaks like most of the Goliaths do. The Goliaths all speak like this.
So he's injured enough that he's not putting up the facade anymore. Then. Okay.
So wait, so you're saying that Feck should be speaking in broken Russian?
I wish I could. Yeah.
He and I talked
Can
about
I-
that, but I
Can
wasn't
I
going
snap
to.
on my
elbow.
elbow-length gloves and start rubbing Kyoton ointment on? That's not really magical, right? It's just like it's more science than
It
magic.
is technically a magical item.
Can I ask Kirei if it would work? It only ever has positive consequences, so why would her magic field stop it?
He looks and he goes, "You are not putting your goop on me."
I will very sadly take off the gloves.
It's a wise voice.
And he then he says, "Dwarf, look out window. You will see problem."
Oh, this ought to be
Am I
good.
tall enough to look out the window?
Yeah,
of course.
Riley will assist if you need a
Okay,
boost.
just checking.
Because you're currently not wearing your armor, remember?
So, yeah.
Yeah, none of you are wearing the armor.
I mean,
Um,
I'm always wearing my armor.
You look out and you can see that surrounding the entire house are frost orcs.
Oh, when did they get it?
Few minutes ago, I started putting on my armor to protect house. I fell over.
See, now this is why people need to learn to just ask for help.
Yeah, Beavis is like throwing his hands up, like "Thank you," like
Oh, how many of them are there?
20 minutes ago.
From what you can gather, Thorgil, at least in your purview,
Riley checks
not too many, but the windows don't give you like sight all around the house, but you're looking at least 10 to 15.
Beavis. I think it's owl's food time.
No problem at all.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But first, can I ask Kirei, like, how does the protection on this house work? Can they come in here?
The Yokeg responds and he goes, they cannot come in. Doesn't mean that they cannot create problem that extends into the barrier, particularly trees on fire.
Okay, so if they light everything on fire, we might be screwed.
Knock the tree onto house, house catch on fire.
Oi, noted. So we knock
Right.
down the trees the other direction.
If they just tried to stupidly rush the house, it will be disintegrated.
Then can I taunt the orcs?
They will not be that stupid. They are smarter than normal dwarf.
It's the normal dwarf. Okay.
Excuse me?
No
Wait,
offense,
come on.
but
we knew this.
your dwarves like to smash your head against rock repeatedly.
How many
Hey,
trees?
that's the national
That's
pastime.
true.
You can't make fun of that.
Yeah.
How many trees are within reach of the house?
He thinks for a second. He goes 2, maybe 3.
So if we knock down the trees, that gets rid of most of our problem.
Aye.
Hey Beavis, what's the most efficient way of knocking down a tree?
I think I would point to the magical item we found in your that we found that can just do it with a wish. But I'll say, do you want the most efficient or the least suicidal?
Least suicidal.
Force.
Alright,
So
I think that means that Thorgil's up.
yeah, that or maybe magic missile, since we don't want to rush out past them. Or
Let's put a pause right there, just because Fex has never met Yokeg, so he doesn't
Yeah.
know what Yokeg looks like. So Fex, he looks like kind of like what in your culture would be those old codgers that are just old enough where they shouldn't be going on raiding parties or war parties anymore, but they still think like they can. But the difference is that's probably due to the fact that he literally has these massive wounds in him. The wounds that he have would be fatal to pretty much any single wound would be fatal to a single Goliath. And he has like 6 of them on his body.
Wow.
So the fact that he is standing is it's impossible, essentially. You've seen wounds in combat like this, like that are half the level of what he has, and like organs should be spilling out of his body due to some of the holes that he has. And
I said he had like black stuff on him.
the skin, the outer skin, has begun to rot. It's actually like his skin is rotting around it. Like that's how bad these wounds are, and how long ago that he sustained some of these wounds. Is like he should have infections. His body should be like, like having massive reactions. Like anyone that knows anything about medicine knows that like decaying skin is like bar none like one of the worst things humanly possible for a wound to have.
Yeah.
And he's got it all over his body. The other thing though that catches you off guard, both the kind of all of you, is he wasn't wearing armor when you last saw him.
Yeah, we've
He
never
was-
seen him in armor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the fact that he has this and that the armor reflects the wounds that he received is a little bit odd. But also, Fex, you've seen armor like this. It's ancient. No Goliath ever wears armor like this anymore. It's like belongs in a museum type armor. This is from an age long past. But the armor, besides having massive holes from recent battle wounds, is pristine, and you can tell that it's probably one of the finest makes that has ever been done. Like your armor looks like a dollar store rubber comparative to like the filigree and carvings in this, which to you and your culture means that he has done great and amazing deeds for the culture to give him back something like this. The other thing you notice is he's not wearing a helmet. He has tattoos on his face that basically mark him as a traitor to his cause.
Oh.
and particularly that he has taken a vow of pacifism, which, if
Seems like
this
bullshit.
staff is his, and he was a servant of Ixtor, he's basically given up his god. And that's why he has those tattoos. It's like society has marked him and banished him from them. Or maybe he did it. You're not sure. But that's what those tattoos mean.
Can I explain to him that I spoke to creepy lady who is probably on the council and that she tracked our location and asked if we can maybe call for reinforcements?
He frowns and he goes, "You spoke to Name. I feel sorry for you."
No, she seemed less creepy than a lot of people we've talked to, which is good. But as far as the reinforcements go, what's our options here? Because I know
One
you're
should
not.
assume that she is like Roshi, just better at hiding it.
Well, yeah, I kind of that makes sense. But Roshi's still on your side, right?
She is.
So reinforcements?
Too busy. We have many fighters to put out. Like your fire. How I got holes in my body.
Our fire?
Your fire. Jawbone.
No, not our fire. His fire.
I'm not in the room.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're still sitting outside. Yeah, good point.
I'm staying with my sister.
So let's put that conversation on pause. Your sister and you are kind of looking out one of the windows across the way from Thorgil, and so she looks over at you and she goes, "So do you think this falls under one of those suicidal situations that I agreed to?"
It would if we weren't surrounded. If we were walking into this situation from outside, yes, but it's already too late. So I think you got to pass on this one.
She grins. She goes, "Okay." And all of a sudden, you see her just suddenly turn to smoke, and she's standing outside the house.
But not alone. Do I see that?
No, you're busy
Dang
talking to this
Uh-oh.
older Goliath.
What did I do?
And I think that is where we're going to call it for tonight.
Okay.
Fuck, that's quite a moment.
Yep.
Chet, are we playing next week? Because I have a Christmas party I have to go to. Is that too close to the holidays, or?
I was okay with playing next week. The week after definitely is a no-go since that's like
Yeah.
right on Christmas. Well, at least the weekend of Christmas. So I'll leave it up to you guys. I mean, do you guys want to take the next 2 weeks off, or do you guys want to play next week? If you do, I'm up to playing on another day if that is something you guys want to do. It just can't be Sunday. So like if you guys want to do like a Friday or do like an earlier Saturday, we could do that.
Yeah, I could maybe do that because I got to go to my department chair's Christmas party Saturday night. But
Okay.
I would be open to another day.
Okay.
I mean, or if I'm the only one missing, everybody can just play on Saturday and I'll miss it.
Right. Fex, I think you said that normally you have shit on Saturdays, don't you?
No, like we have. Well, it depends on the time. Yes, depends on the time. Okay.
Okay.
It can just be early, but this time it's fine. Or.
So basically what we're looking at is on the 16th, we log in and play earlier. Probably what I'd want to do is kind of go for like a early afternoon, and that way we'd be finishing up before Steven has to get ready to go to some Christmas party, whatever time that is. Do you know when it is, Steven?
I can check the invitation. Yeah. I don't remember, but it's in my email.
So
You guys don't need to rearrange everything around me because I have to be out at my parents' place in the morning to make fudge, and then I have to be
See,
there.
I personally want Beavis around though.
Yeah, that's well. It does seem like an important thing, so I didn't want to miss it. But I don't want to ruin you know what I mean? I don't want to screw with everybody else. It's 6 p.m., so I would need to leave here at 5:15, 5:30. I could maybe do like 1 to 4, but I don't really want to screw with everybody else for my schedule, you know?
Well, basically, the way that I see it is that we can see if we can all do it 1 to 4 Eastern. If that works, then we'll do it. If it doesn't, then we'll just play at our normal time on Saturday. As I guess kind of how it plays out.
That seems like the least disruptive. Yeah.
Right. So.
But really, this is Balar's story. So if I'm not there, you can just.
I can just negate the encounter a little bit.
Yeah. But I'd rather be there. This sounds interesting.
Right.
I want to see what sister does.
Yeah, like I probably can't do it every week on that time, but once.
This is just a one-time thing.
Yeah, my family say, well, okay,
Yeah.
I'll just leave earlier than usual this place.
Right. So let's see here. How do I translate that? Fex, that would be if we did 1 to 4. That would be
I got
6
the thing
hours
open.
earlier.
No, yeah, I got the thing open.
Okay.
It's 4 p.m. for me.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's right. Because you're 3 hours earlier than I am.
Well, I don't know. I just got the thing open here.
Are you
Only 2
west or
hours
east?
earlier.
Max?
He's
Sorry?
Brazil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, west or east coast of Brazil.
He'd have to be on the
Not
east coast.
not coast, but you know what I mean. Which part are you in?
The part where like 90% of the population is. So it's
right off the
it's
coast.
closer to the east coast. We don't have a west coast, but
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
closer to the
Oh,
He
yeah.
just means, like,
Pretty much
west
the
of the
entire
country.
west part of Brazil is mountain, right?
No. How it works is it's like there's beaches and then there's a chain of mountains and then there's like normal places and past the mountains. The mountains are really close to the actual coast. I'm like, if I go in a straight line, I'm like 400 kilometers or so. I have no idea in miles. You guys figured it out. Off the coast.
All right. So Fex, we'll make sure that you're not off on the time, but that sounds like something that you could do on very rare occasions, because we usually do that on
Yes.
really rare occasions. We'll try to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
early on Saturdays, but that's like once or twice a year we'll do something.
Yeah, it's just that I go to have lunch with my family, and I
Right.
stay there for a little longer, and then I just can't leave every day just to do that. But sometimes I have a thing to do, and they're
Right,
okay.
right. Yeah. Okay. So
Yep.
let's
Don't
say
go out your way because of my schedule. You know, if it's an inconvenience, don't worry about it.
Not really, not a big one.
So let's go ahead and we'll say that we'll do that, as long as everyone's good with it. So next week, Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, and I'll let you guys do the translations for your times to make sure that you're here on time. Good? Sound all right? That way we can get Steven at least a couple hours of game time. Because the amount of XP that you guys would get is stupidly high. So
Yay! If you survive.
yeah, if you guys kill everything and survive,
And survive.
6, you all would get approximately 4,633 XP for this fight.
Damn. That was the halfway to the because it's only.
You would basically level and go like a quarter of the way to the next level.
Yeah.
We just got to do it right.
And that's also dividing your XP with Pamina.
Really?
No,
Wow.
I mean, that's not what I agreed to. She is not a player character.
If you have NPCs fighting in your party, they get XP.
Damn it. I renege on my deal. I'm gonna kill her.
Oh, okay. That'll be interesting.
That's a very Balor thing to do. Killing Balor's family.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the perfect thing to do.
Nobody kills my own family but me.
Basically, yeah. That's what it came down to.
Oh man, I really need to invest in a physical copy of the player's handbook. I hate like control Fing and like scrolling through and.
So, Steven, if you want to have a beer with me at lunch tomorrow, I'll give you one of the 3 copies that I have. Quote unquote on loan.
Sounds like a good trade.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. So, okay, I found what I'm looking for. 23,000 to hit level 7 and 34,000. So, yeah, you're right. We get about a quarter of the way there. Yeah, Jen's going to Disney tomorrow, so let me know what you want to do. Text me in the morning.
Okay, yeah.